Hello, I'm Disbrew, and in the news this week we start with Kingdom Hearts 4 getting a surprise announcement on a Sunday of all things to celebrate its 20th anniversary event. Titled The Last Master Arc, the trailer was formed as part of a 7-minute long video which fans outside the anniversary event was shown during the presentation. And this included various different news from Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, a new mobile game, and the first look at Kingdom Hearts 4. The trailer features a boss battle across Quadratum, described as an expansive city set in a gorgeous, realistic world, unlike anything ever seen before in the Kingdom Hearts series. That's a quote. The graphics themselves look like a significant upgrade over Kingdom Hearts 3, focusing far more on photorealism than the more stylized version of the 2019 game, which is more along the lines of something that appeals to me personally. And while Donald and Goofy don't feature a lot in the actual trailer themselves, they do make a brief appearance and so have been at least confirmed for the game. In addition to the first appearance of Strelitzia, a mysterious new character who appears before Sora in this strange new setting. All in all, we're actually quite light on details for the game as this is the first announcement, but at least they've shown a trailer for it with gameplay, which is more than we get for most of the games. So now it's been announced, hopefully we'll get more information very soon. And whenever we do, you can count that it'll be on this channel. In some Elden Ring news, a speedrunner has completed the game in 12 minutes and 32 seconds using a new zip glitch, which essentially, through various different button combinations, allows you to yeet yourself across the map at record speed. Now, that's never going to be something that I'm going to do, but when I realised that I'm going to spend well over 100 hours playing the game and he completed it in 12 minutes 32 seconds, kind of makes me question my life choices from now on. In a similar vein to that, we've got somebody else who's decided to go around defeating various different Elden Ring bosses using a dance pad. Seriously questioning it right now. But then to top that all off, we've got another player who's decided to spend hours travelling from player to player, invading their games, and then just naming himself Will Smith, walking up to him, slapping him, and walking away. So there really is something for everyone in Elden Ring. PlayStation cleaned up the Baftas this year, with Sony collecting a total of 5 Game Awards. It started off with Ratchet Clank Rifts Apart taking home the awards for Best Animation and Technical Achievement, and then Returnal picked up another 4, including Audio Achievement, Music, Performer in a Leading Role, and Overall Best Game. Other awards went to Take-Two for their co-op platformer, which won Best Original Property and Best Multiplayer. Then you had No Man's Sky, which took home Best Evolving Game, and Puzzle Game Unpacking, which won Best Narrative, alongside Forza Horizon 5, which took home the Best British Game. All in all, when I look at the list of winners, they're not really the ones I would have chosen for those categories, but what do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. A Fortnite livestream has leaked possible new content and crossover events for the future of the game, although they could well be trolling us. We've actually got this, where it shows possible Star Wars, Doom, and Family Guy crossovers in the future, and the leak itself comes from this screenshot of their own trailer, where we can see various different folder names on the screen itself. And the internet being the internet determined what these folders were by squinting at blurred letters with about 3 different pixels in them. And this is why I love these guys. The list of folders is already featured alongside other assets folders from things that we already know are in the game, such as Kratos, Loki, Master Chief, and Morty. But the issue is that Fortnite has actually been trolling players in the past with supposed leaks by hiding things as little Easter eggs to get people excited for no reason. This has actually been rumoured to happen before when they added a Family Guy file to Fortnite's source files, specifically so that data miners would find it, leak it, when it was never planned to happen at the time. So while I'm just kind of getting into Fortnite due to the no build mode myself, and I'd be very happy to find new skins in the game, I'm kind of going to be a little bit dubious about this one. It is a major mistake to have in a live screen to have your work just openly displayed on your monitor for the camera to get, and then for no one to even notice that during all of the editing afterwards. And as they're known for trolling in the past, they could well be doing it here, but I have to say, if you're going to add a Doom guy into Fortnite, or maybe some of his enemies to be playable, then you better not be faking this. A new Subnautica game has been announced, although at the moment the details are fairly sparse. We just know that this is going to be a sequel set in a new science fiction world. Even knowledge about this project comes from a job listing that they made at their company, which simply says that they need a senior narrative designer to help shape the next game in the Subnautica universe. And as such, we don't know whether this is a direct sequel or will just be a DLC like Below Zero was. The Subnautica games were some really creepy underwater crafting games which provided hours of entertainment and actually had some great stories to them. So I'm happy to hear that we get a sequel for it, even if that sequel is likely to be in 2023 or 24. All we know is at the moment it's a long way off. And speaking of PC games with very few details, here is one which I'm very, very dubious about. We've got a new Star Trek game coming thanks to a leaked convention poster, which is about Star Trek Prodigy Supernova, which is coming to PC consoles and the Switch. The leak itself didn't just confirm that it was going to be on PC, console, and Switch, but also included various different pieces of artwork. I know what I have to say is it doesn't exactly look like Star Trek to me. Now, admittedly, I'm not exactly the target audience, considering this is Nickelodeon Star Trek rather than the one I grew up with. But I do have to ask, when it comes to Star Trek fans, are there far more Star Trek fans who are like me that grew up with it and knew all of the classic Trek? Or are all the fans into this? Because as far as I knew, that show wasn't even very popular on its own, so how on earth do they expect to draw the crowd in for a game? There are some business decisions that make me think, how on earth did you get someone to sign off and give you permission and a budget to make that thing? And I have to say, this is one of them. Who knows, maybe I'll be proved wrong and it's going to be the next best game since Elden Ring. Kinda doubt it though. But there is a surprising little game which took the Steam charts by storm, and that is a LEGO Star Wars. Yes, this isn't even just being the best launch for a LEGO Star Wars game, but it's actually beating out various different previous Star Wars games, even when it comes down to like Fallen Order. Coming in with a Steam concurrent player base of 82,500 players, this beats all of the previous all-time records of 62,500 for Skywalker Saga, 6,000 for Marvel Superheroes, The Hobbit, which came in at 5.5, Ninjago 5.5, and Lord of the Rings 5,000 players. But my favourite stat has to be when it came out and it beat Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I have to say, between the two, I wouldn't have expected any competition at all. Quite frankly, the fact that a little LEGO game beat out a major AAA title like that kind of blows me away. And obviously, this comes with all the usual caveats. It's just based on Steam, it doesn't take into account console sales or any wider picture on that. I just think it's interesting to look at sort of like-for-like sales when it comes to these, and Steam is a great platform for that as it provides largely transparent player numbers. And in some news that I'm very excited about, we find out that Max Payne 1 and 2 are going to get a remake. I love these games. They came just at the right time. They were original, slow motion effects that were oh so cool, and the storyboard telling, although it actually came from a lack of budget, so they couldn't do sort of big movie scenes, they instead went down to this very gritty, atmospheric, black and white storyboard. And these were games which I remember going through and not just thinking that was a fun game. It was like, no, that felt like an actual story. That was an experience of a game to play, and when they are remade, I will definitely be going back to them. Especially as they said they're actually going to be remaking them with a AAA budget. Let's just hope it actually ends up better than Grand Theft Auto remakes did. Although I do have to say that obviously in Max Payne 3, Max Payne's face changed from the one we know and the one that was in Max Payne 1 and 2, and I have to say, if we're going to do this properly, we should get the original guy's face back, because we already know who he is. Due to the lack of budget, this was actually the face of a guy at the company himself, and I think if you're going to remake it, you've got to get the same guy back, right? You can't just switch to Max Payne's 3 face, which I have to say, for me, was a disappointment considering this was the guy I knew from the start. So I have to say, Remedy, if you're going to do a job, do it properly, and there's really only one option for that. But for now, that's it from me. If you like the video, press like and subscribe. More videos like this in the future, and let me know what you thought of any of the topics down in the comments below. But for now, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.